There's a kind of mind that doesn't move fast. It moves deep. While the world rushes to speak, they linger in silence, listening to thoughts the rest of us never stop long enough to hear. They are the wanderers of the mind, the ones who drown in details others call irrelevant. To them, life isn't a race, it's a riddle. And they can't rest until they understand it. They see beauty in things most people overlook. A flicker of light on a rainy street. A sentence that echoes truth. A stranger's sadness hidden behind a smile. They are thinkers, not because they want to be, but because they can't help it. The world pulls at their curiosity like gravity. They don't just exist, they observe existence. So today, let's step into their world. Let's explore the quiet, the profound, the restless beauty of deep thinkers. For the deep thinker, every experience is layered, like a painting brushed with endless shades of meaning. A smile isn't just a curve of lips, it's a language of emotion, an echo of past joy, or maybe a shield hiding quiet pain. A single glance can open entire chapters of interpretation. A word can linger for days, replaying in their minds until its hidden tone reveals itself. Where others see simplicity, deep thinkers see structure, patterns beneath the obvious, connections that tie today to yesterday. They cannot look at life without dissecting its heartbeat. Every sound, every silence, every passing moment feels charged with significance. And because they think deeply, they feel deeply. Thought for them isn't just mental, it's emotional. Each idea carries weight, each insight has texture. To think deeply is to live intensely. And that intensity is both a blessing and a burden. When beauty appears, a sunset, a song, a quiet act of kindness, they don't just see it, they absorb it. It fills them like light spilling into glass. But when sorrow comes, a harsh word, a betrayal, a loss, they can't simply brush it away. They carry it, analyze it, try to understand it until it becomes part of them. Even silence can hurt them, because in silence, the mind becomes an ocean. Every unspoken thought becomes a wave. Every unanswered question becomes an undertow pulling them deeper into reflection. It's not that they want to overthink, it's that their minds were never built for the shallow end. Their empathy runs the same way, deep and consuming. They don't just notice someone's pain, they feel it as if it were their own. And so, they often retreat, not because they don't care, but because they care too much. Because feeling everything all the time is exhausting. Yet, within that exhaustion lies their beauty. They see what others miss. They love with awareness. They hurt with meaning. And while the world moves fast, they move inward, slowly, profoundly, endlessly searching. Because to think deeply is to feel the world not on the skin, but in the soul. For the deep thinker, life is never random. Every moment, every silence, every encounter carries a hidden thread connecting one truth to another. Where most people see coincidence, they see design. A stranger's kind word feels like a message. A recurring dream feels like a whisper from the subconscious. Even the smallest shift in tone, the faintest hesitation in a voice, it means something. Nothing passes through them unnoticed. Their minds are like ancient libraries, constantly cataloging, analyzing, connecting. They question not to doubt, but to understand. Every why leads to another why. And that chain of curiosity stretches into infinity. Why do we love what hurts us? Why does beauty fade when we finally notice it? Why does truth so often hide beneath layers of noise? To some, those questions sound heavy. But to the deep thinker, they are oxygen, the very air their mind breathes. They walk through life as detectives of meaning. They see stories in the patterns of raindrops, lessons in heartbreak, poetry in chaos. When the world says, "It just happened," they whisper, "But what is it trying to teach me?" Their search for understanding is not an obsession with control. It's a hunger for clarity, for alignment between thought and truth. And yet, that endless search can be lonely. Because meaning is not always easy to find, and not everyone wants to look for it. The deep thinker often finds themselves surrounded by people satisfied with surfaces, while they are busy diving into depths no one else dares to touch. They want to know why the heart aches, why time heals, why beauty hurts even as it heals us. And in that relentless questioning, they find purpose. Because for them, the world is not a series of random events. It's a living text written in symbols and echoes, waiting to be interpreted by those who dare to read between the lines. They are not overthinkers. They are seekers, pilgrims of truth, forever walking the sacred path between thought and meaning. Deep thinkers live between worlds, too awake for the shallow, too silent for the loud. They walk among people, smile when spoken to, laugh when expected, but inside, they're galaxies away. They don't mean to be distant, it's just that the world moves too fast, and they prefer to walk slowly through their thoughts. While others enjoy the moment, they are busy dissecting it, feeling its texture, asking what it means, and wondering if it will matter a year from now. To the crowd, this makes them seem detached, mysterious, or even cold. But the truth is, they feel too much to always engage. Their minds are constantly alive, and sometimes the noise of the world becomes unbearable. They crave silence not because they dislike people, but because silence is the only place they can hear themselves think. They struggle to belong, not because they are arrogant, but because they see life differently. Small talk feels heavy, pretending feels painful, and belonging, at least in the usual sense, feels impossible. They want connection, yes, but not the kind built on convenience or routine. They long for souls that listen, eyes that understand without words, minds that can dance with theirs in the rhythm of reason and wonder. And so, they wait. They wait for the rare conversation that touches the edges of eternity. They wait for the one person who won't rush to reply, but will pause and think before speaking. They wait for a place where thinking deeply isn't seen as being too much. Sometimes, this waiting feels like exile. They sit in crowded rooms and feel unseen. They scroll through endless feeds and feel unheard. But solitude, to them, is not punishment. It is home. It's the sacred space where their thoughts take form, where ideas bloom like midnight flowers, and where they remember who they are beneath the noise. Belonging, to the deep thinker, isn't about fitting in. It's about finding resonance, that quiet, invisible hum. When two minds recognize each other in a world that rarely listens. They don't want many friends, just a few who understand that silence, too, can be a conversation. For the deep thinker, life unfolds on two planes. There is the world that is, and the world that could be. They walk through the ordinary, yet their minds wander through universes unseen. You may find them staring out a window lost, but inside, they're speaking with eternity. They live in two realities. One where they eat, work, and smile like everyone else, and another where their thoughts spiral into meaning, where questions bloom like stars in an infinite sky. They can be surrounded by people, yet still alone in their own cosmos, navigating constellations of thought only they can see. This dual existence is both a blessing and a burden, because while their bodies are anchored here, their minds are always drifting elsewhere. The dinner table becomes a debate about destiny. A sunset becomes a metaphor for mortality. Even silence becomes a language, and dreams become alternate worlds where truths whisper in symbols. Sometimes this split pulls them apart. They want to live simply, to laugh without analysis, to feel without translating emotion into philosophy, but they can't help it. Their minds refuse to rest on the surface. They dive always, even when the water is dark. They live in two timelines too, the now and the what if. While others see a moment, they see its echoes, its possibilities, its cause and consequence rippling through unseen time. That's why they often pause before they speak, why they seem distant in conversation, Their thoughts are not here, they're everywhere, intertwined with memories, ideas, and futures only they can sense. To some, they appear distracted. To others, mystical. But truly, they are explorers, mapping the hidden terrains of existence that most never notice. Their minds are both microscope and telescope, seeing the smallest truth in a gesture, and the grandest meaning in a sigh. And though this life between two worlds can be lonely, it's also divine, because from this duality comes depth, poetry, invention, philosophy, art. The thinkers who live in two realities are the bridge between what is and what could be. They remind the world that imagination is not escape, it's evolution. Deep thinkers don't just think, they absorb. They carry the world on their minds the way empaths carry it on their hearts. Every sigh in a conversation, every silence between words, every tremor in someone's voice becomes part of them. They walk through life collecting fragments of other people's emotions like magnets drawing iron dust. You might see them smiling, calm, composed, unbothered. But inside, they are sorting through layers of feeling that aren't even their own. A stranger's sadness on the bus. A friend's unspoken anxiety. A piece of music that awakens an old memory they thought they'd buried. Their hearts echo with things the world has already forgotten. That's why deep thinkers sometimes withdraw. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much. Because every emotional frequency vibrates inside them like a storm. When others shrug and move on, they stay behind, wondering why it had to rain. And when they love, they don't just love a person. They love their history, their wounds, their potential. They love like it's a philosophy, sacred, consuming, eternal. But here's the paradox. To feel this deeply is both an anchor and a pair of wings. It keeps them grounded in compassion, yet weighs them down with invisible burdens. They lie awake at night thinking about how someone else must be feeling. They replay conversations, not to judge, but to understand what the other person couldn't say aloud. Sometimes, this emotional gravity isolates them. People tell them, "You're too sensitive," or "You overthink everything." But sensitivity to them is not weakness, it's perception. It's the ability to see beneath the surface, to sense the sadness behind a smile, to understand that even laughter can hide pain. They carry the emotional architecture of the world, and that's why they're often tired in ways rest can't fix. But in that fatigue lies their beauty, because every burden they carry becomes wisdom. Every tear they understand becomes poetry. And every wound they feel becomes empathy, the quiet force that keeps humanity connected. The next time you meet a deep thinker lost in thought, don't mistake their silence for indifference. They're not tuning out. They're tuning into frequencies most hearts can't hear. Deep thinkers live where the noise of the world cannot reach. They are the quiet fires burning behind calm faces. The philosophers hidden in ordinary lives. They think not to impress, but to understand. Not to escape reality, but to feel it more deeply. And in a world that confuses noise with meaning, their silence is an act of defiance, a declaration that the mind still matters. So if you are one of them, the deep, the observant, the unshakably curious, don't dim your thoughts to fit shallow waters. The world may never fully understand you, but somewhere, another mind like yours is listening, nodding in quiet recognition. And if this spoke to you, you already know what to do. Subscribe. Stay curious and never stop thinking deeply. Because the surface is crowded, but the depths, that's where the truth lives.